right, well, good afternoon. Thank you all for joining. I want to take a minute and introduce Brandon Isbell. He is the creator of this fantastic app, Connect Baltimore, ConnectBmore, sorry. And I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to him and let him tell you all about this fantastic app that he has come up with. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, so my name is Brandon. I am currently a sophomore at the University of Maryland, and I'm studying computer science, but I'm originally from Southwest Baltimore. When my parents moved to Baltimore, they found that it was hard to find information, specifically about youth-focused nonprofits and things to do after school, sports programs, just things for kids. And I think that's still an issue that exists today. There's a lot of programs that are out there, but it's not easy to find those programs. And when you do find them, the information is often outdated. So we wanted to create an app to make it easier for people to find quality information about the programs that are out there and then easily connect with those programs and their program administrators. So I'm going to share my screen and give you guys a little tour of the app. So can you see my screen? Okay, cool. This is the homepage of the app. You can see on the top there's a near me section. So all of the youth programs that are closest to you will show up in this section. You can click into a card and see more information about it. We have program information here and then more information about the host organization with contact information down at the bottom. You can click this Connect with Program button to directly connect with the program administrator. If you hit the Send Request button, it will send an email directly to the administrator of that program, and then they can get back to you and do some work on our admin portal which I'll show later, but to see like that you've connected with them and check you in and a few other things. Also, we have this share button on the top right. Say, like, if a parent was looking at this and they wanted to share the program with their child, they could hit this share button and then share it via text or email. So we also have it categorized by the different types of programs. So there's education, STEM, arts, culture, but like a few other categories so that it's easier to find what specifically you're looking for in terms of programs. We also have a search tab where you can look up something specific, say, for example, entrepreneurship. We have all the entrepreneurship programs coming up here. And by the way, all the data that we have in the app right now is from the internet for the most part. We have a few organizations that are with us on like a pilot program. But ultimately, what we want to do is have the organizations on our platform. They'll be getting weekly text messages from us asking, "Hey, are you still running this program this week?" If they respond with a Y, then it'll stay on there. If they respond with an N, then it'll be immediately taken off. But we want this to be like data that is kept up to date by the organization administrators and hopefully something that's not too much of a hassle for them. But for now, we just have them in from the internet just so that the app can be filled out. And so yeah, here's a search tab. We have a map tab where you can see the organizations on a map and find what's close by to you this way. So if I am to click on one of these here, this is YSLI. You can see there's a check mark here in the top right because they've been verified with our platform. We've had a conversation with the administrators of YSLI and they've made an account in our admin portal. So they're regularly updating the information here. And you can see the programs listed below, as well as more information about the organization and the contact information here. Lastly, when you click into a program and you try to, when you click the connection button, it sends a request to the program administrator. The program administrator is then able to admit you into the program, and then that program is going to show up in your My Program section. Say if you're a student, you can go to your programs, you can click in, and then check in once you're there if that's a functionality that the admins want to use for the app. Because I know it can be a bit of a hassle to keep a sign-in sheet or handle the check-in in another way, have to go to a spreadsheet and type all that stuff in. Um, so yeah, that is our mobile app. We want to expand it to more types of organizations. And like I said, we want the organizations that are already on the platform to get verified so they can update their information on a regular basis. And and so yeah, those are our main goals going into the summer for our mobile app. But do you guys have any questions about what I've shown you so far. Yes.
So I am the program director with Access Art. We're an after-school program in Baltimore. Um, our program is only offered to students of the schools that we're in.
Mhm.
So I'm curious, one, if that's something that you'd be interested in having like on your app at all, but then two, like, do you have capabilities for filtering like sort of what you're looking for or who would be eligible for certain programs?
Yeah, at the moment we don't have filters for that specifically, but I definitely think it would be beneficial to have your program on the app just for the students who are in the school and are eligible. So that is something that I would look into maybe for this summer, building out more advanced filtering options and maybe just like something on your profile that clearly says that you have to be part of that school in order to register. But absolutely, I could see that happening in the future.
Awesome.
Hey, Brandon, do you think? Oh, I'm sorry, Janice.
It's okay. I just had a quick question. We have a web page where our community providers can list events. So it's an event listing page. But one of the issues that we frequently have is getting those agencies, organizations to put events in themselves or update their information on a regular basis on the web page. And it's so, we find that it's a lot of work on our end to, oh, I just heard about this event happening. Let me put it in for XYZ agency. Um, have you found a way to get around that? Is there a nice interface in your app that makes it easier for the agencies to do that?
Yeah, so I'll go into our admin portal later, which will show how they could put it in manually. But the main thing that we're trying to do is we're going to send out weekly text messages. Right now, it's just programs on the app, but we also want to have in the future, we want to have like one-time events like you were talking about on the app too. But hopefully, with those text messages, it would be an easier reminder for the organization administrators to go in and put in the information. I know it's still like maybe a bit of a hassle for them to do, but we're going to be sending out weekly text messages and emails just to check in with them to make sure they remember.
And one
Sounds
of the
helpful.
things, yeah, one of the things right now is that the events, if they're happening or not, is it just a Y? You just press Y and send, and the database is updated. Like Brandon, I could imagine a scenario where you could also ask the question, do you have any one-time events coming up this month? And maybe
Hmm.
they could go through just a quick text exchange and the database is updated that way, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask on the connection request, Brandon, do you think, to Curly's point, like if you do try to connect to a program and it has certain criteria, like maybe there's just notes there, like do you go to these schools or whatever?
Yeah, that could be something that's directly on the connection tab too. Maybe you have to check off a few boxes and say, I go to this school, I qualify in these ways. Then I can hit the button.
Oh, thanks.
Looks like Christina
Christina?
had a question. Go ahead, Christina.
Hi, good morning. I jumped on a little bit late, so I might have missed it. But I was wondering if did you talk about how to become a program that's in this app? And my second question is, what kind of reach do you guys already have at this point in terms of communities and families who are using this app?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, I'm going to be going into that later. I'll show the admin portal where you can sign up and register your organization for our app. And as far as the second question, we did just create this app over the summer, and we're still in a beta testing phase where we want you guys, the organizations, to get on and make sure that it works well for you. We don't have any, as far as I understand, any parents or students who are using the app right now, but the goal is to get there maybe by this summer. But just like after we go through a beta testing phase and making sure that it works for the organizations, then to get the parents and students to buy in as well. But yeah, if there are no more questions, I can move on to the admin panel, which is like the second part of the platform. This is the mobile app is what the parents and students will primarily be using, but the admin portal is what organization administrators can use to update the information that will be on the mobile app. So if I
Um,
can then,
I just had
yeah.
one more question, sorry, before we move to that. As
Mhm.
far as like the parameters for what types of programs you're looking for, um, like, I have a network of folks that I would love to connect with you all. But I'm curious sort of who all do you want to have on there? So, for example, in addition to being an after school program, we also um, run like a weekly health market where give away food and then sometimes have like mobile showers or things like that based in the Moral Park neighborhood. So, I'm curious kind of like what's the parameters for the types of programs or services you're including on the app.
Yeah, right now the scope is just youth-focused organizations,
Uh,
but in the future we want to expand to like a more broad range of organizations like the one you just described. I would say for now we would probably limit the connections just to the youth-focused ones, but in the future once we expand the capabilities to more organizations, then we would allow those other ones to come on too.
awesome. Okay.
But yeah, that's a good question. That is a big goal of ours for this summer. We really want to expand this out to as many organizations as possible because this is like connecting people with nonprofit organizations goes far beyond just youth-focused stuff. Um, but now moving on to the admin panel, we'll try to share that on my screen. Um, 1 second. Okay. So this is our admin panel website. Organizations can log in here. I should have been logged in already. And new organizations can create an account by signing in. So I will just log in here real fast. And by the way, when you create a new account on the platform, it's going to take you through a whole onboarding process where you're going to put in your basic organization information, your phone number for the text messages that will be sent out every week, and then it'll ask you to schedule a little 10 to 15-minute call with us just to make sure that you're a real organization because we want to verify all the organizations that end up on our platform. And then after that, you'll have an organization that is on our platform. um, we also have we have some organizations, as I said, that we put in there already and put in some information. So there will be an option for you to look at our current database, and if your organization's already in there, you can select that. If not, then you can put in a new one. So here, oh my goodness, 1 second. Here when I sign in, um, looks like my Wi-Fi is being a little slow, but there will be organization dashboard where you'll be able to see the information about your organization that's here. This is a test organization that I created just for the purposes of the presentation. So you can see my information is listed right here, the programs that I'm offering, as well as my location. If I hit the edit profile button, then I'll be able to modify my organization information. If there's anything that needs to be updated, I'll be able to add a new program and put it on the information that is relevant to that program here. As soon as I click the save button, it'll be visible on the mobile app for parents and students to see. So just the ease of access of this is something that we think is really valuable, being able to hit the button and it's just on there. Um, and then when people request to connect with your program, an email will be sent to you, and then their connection request will show up in this connections tab right here. You'll be able to click the connect button if you want them to join your organization. So essentially, that's what we have for the admin portal so far. We want to build this out to more of a CRM type interface over the summer too, and that's something that I could definitely see happening. We want to have more data in here to make it easier for you guys as nonprofit administrators to do grant applications. Um, Data like check-in information, how many people are registered for your programs and the hours that your volunteers have put in. We want to add a volunteer tab as well to make it easier for volunteers to find programs because they're another like portion of the nonprofit ecosystem that could really benefit from a solution like this. So we've got a lot of ideas for how we could expand this out in the future. My plan is to work hard over the summer to do whatever I can to make this better. Um, and yeah, I thank you for listening to my presentation. If you have any more questions about the admin portal as well, I'm happy to take them.
Can we and should we make an account now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would appreciate that. Like we're definitely ready to get into that beta testing phase. So if you make an account now, then we'll get in contact with you about how you can go about testing this and seeing if it's like a viable thing for your organization to work with in the future.
Brandon, you showed logging in to your login, but you want to show the sign up workflow?
Yeah, I can show that real quick.
Okay.
So to sign up, you will uh, you will hit the login button or get the get started today button. It'll send you to this page where you can create an account. So I'll make one here. You hit the create button. By the way, this is connectbaltimore.com. I don't know why this is my okay. And so the first thing that you'll do is enter in your phone number. This will be used for SMS text messages that will be sent out to you every week. As I mentioned, to verify that your information is up to date. So I usually, when I'm testing it, I just put in like a fake phone number. Subscribe here. I'll enter in your name. Then this is what I was talking about, where you can either click your organization if it's in our database already, or add it if it's not. So to do that, you check if your organization is in here. Say if like, I don't know.
Brandon, Reverend Hicks is on this, so you could say boardroom chess.
Okay, boardroom chess.
Yeah.
Let's go board. So boardroom chess is on right now, so you could click that. Or if your organization isn't in already, I mean, I'll click it. Well, actually, no, I won't because we're not boardroom chess. So you would click create new organization if your organization isn't in our database already. Then you put this information in, you'd click the create button, and then it would send you to a tab where you could schedule a Calendly meeting with me and my dad, and we can have a little talk and make sure that you're a real organization, and then you'll be in the platform.
Question, is there a difference between organization and program? So for instance, my program is part of a larger nonprofit organization. So
Mm.
would we be under an umbrella or would each program create their own portal account and claim to be a new organization? Because we're
So,
separate. Like, we have separate
yeah.
departments and programs that do completely different things, different
Mhm.
directors. So
Mm. I hadn't really thought about that kind of dynamic, to be honest. I always thought of like the organization has its director and then like within the organization there are programs, but all with the same director. That's a different case. So honestly, I'd have to think about that and how I would work that into our system.
right. It sounds like probably at this point we would just come in as separate organizations, even if we all claim under the same umbrella. Uh,
Hmm.
if I could just put in 2 cents. I wasn't sure if you had something in place, but if not, that's something that is easily doable since we're sort of siloed anyway. Um,
Hmm. I
just know.
think that would make the most sense, just registering as an organization for right now.
Great.
Yeah, I think that would work like with Boys and Girls Clubs or 4-H's or YMCA's that are kind of all, have different, programs running and stuff like that. That would probably make the most sense. Yeah.
Great.
Mhm.
So then to that end, I would be curious thinking about, Access. Our program is pretty much the same structure at each school, but it is a different like site manager and obviously a different school. So I'm curious what you or sort of Crystal or anyone would think as far as like what's the best way to move forward. Would that be five separate organizations, or does it show up as separate programs if I put in multiple programs under Access Art?
It would show up as separate programs. I think the best thing to do would be to have Access Art in as an organization and
Mhm.
then have your separate programs at the different schools as individual programs on the platform. And then they'll show up individually.
But the
Okay.
one question I would have, Curly, is would one person be able to kind of work as an admin to say, like, yes, these things are happening this week? Or would
Mm-hmm.
you want each individual program coordinator to get those texts?
Okay. I feel like I could I could assign one of my like director level folks to kind of be the admin for that. Um, and then they could just sort of respond for all of the programs. Um, but that's a good consideration. I'll check in with my team before I register.
Yeah, I think just, knowing how like some of the programs are set up and everything, that it would be that like, yeah, who's going to be, do you want one person responsible for updating throughout all of the different, arms that reach out? Or is it better to have that coordinator at each program responsible for updating their own information? And I think that would kind of be, that difference between registering as one organization with all these different, branches reaching out, or each person being responsible for their own. I think that would kind of solve that problem, or that situation and everything, as far as the use and keeping things updated on the app.
Mhm. Any other questions?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. So I see that the boardroom test is on there. I'm excited about this. And I wanted to know, can I go on and begin adding programs that our organization already have in progress?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
As I went through, you could claim your organization on the platform. Once you're
Yeah,
on, then you can add as many programs as you would like, and they'll show up on the app.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One note, just as you're moving forward, I'm thinking about like on the admin side. I think some of the CRM kind of capabilities could be really cool, but I can also imagine like I have to use Salesforce, and they have
Mhm.
so many capabilities, like it actually becomes like super burdensome to use. So I would be curious if you're able to build in sort of like you can opt into these sort of aspects of it, or you can keep your interface just like very, very streamlined and simple. I love the idea of building in a volunteer connection capability. I think that would be really, really meaningful for us. And I know for probably for some of our like smaller organizations that maybe don't have their CRMs like already built out or things like that, it could be really useful to have that kind of capability. But speaking for myself, I'm like, just looking at this admin portal right now, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. It's like six buttons. That's it. I can do that. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's keep it as that. So that's just something I would, just to share my perspective.
Yeah, thank you for your input. I think that's a really good idea to have a very simple basic version and allow the organizations to opt into more advanced stuff if they want it. Um, yeah, and definitely the volunteer thing is going to be a big priority for us too.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's really cool.
I'm currently trying to fill out and make an account. Just question when I get to the what's your name, do you want the organization name or my name?
That's your name. Maybe I should be more clear about that on the portal.
And then I would just be curious. I mean, I think this is going to be a really cool app, and I would love to support. So I'm curious, like, who all are you connected with? I don't know that we need to go over the whole list right now, but like maybe we could connect via email so I can see who in my network I should send your way if you're not already connected with them, or like what would be the best way to try to make some of those connections.
Well, my email is my first and last name, brandonisbell@gmail.com. I think that would be the best way to connect with me.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
my dad wants to give his contact information too.
Yeah. Mine is Scott Isbell at gmail.com. But it's also probably safe to assume that the organizations are not here. Reverend Hicks is one of the few that we've talked to, probably 6 or 7 organizations we've actually chatted with. Otherwise, like Brandon said, we pulled a lot of this data from the internet.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I saw Bubba on there, the baseball organization. Are you all connected with them?
We're not actually connected with them yet. That was one of the ones we just got from the internet.
Cool. I feel like they would be really into it. So I will reach out to them and get you some contact info.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
I love these connections that are happening already. Just even talking about the app and everything. This is fantastic.
By the way, also, if we're looking for, if you're looking for other means of connection, connecting with Baltimore City Schools, they have resource fairs and organization fairs for community partnership. So if you all were to, one, as you're, I guess, trying to get interest, maybe talk to them, that might be a space where physically you can get to talk to other organizations to see if they want to join in. And two, once you guys are actually up and running, though this is mobile, that might be a physical space that would be great for you all to, I guess, share out things, the organizations that are connected through your app in a physical space of like, hey, these are different things, come check them out in the mobile app. Um, so that you can get more reach when you're ready for families and parents to use the system.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
thank
a
you.
really good idea.
Did you say that they have resource fairs that are in person?
Yes, yes.
Should just search that up online, you think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
Are you all on social media?
We are not on social media yet. That's another thing we want to do over the summer is get more of a presence on social media and just get out there.
Do you have a
We
sense of
also
timeline of when you're gonna like kind of go live for parents and families?
There's no strict timeline yet. We want to do it. I would want to do it at some point this summer. And I think it's definitely feasible considering I have all of winter break to work on it too. And in the meantime, we can continue building these connections and making like getting more organizations actually on the platform. Even with what we have right now, I think it could potentially be released. Right now, we have it on the app is released on Test Flight, which is Apple's beta testing version of the App Store. So I can send out the mobile app link too to all of you and to anyone who wants to try out the app. And if we get good enough feedback on our beta version of the app, then we can release it to the App Store after that.
Well, one thing I'm looking for though is that, if you live in a certain zip code, that somewhere around you there's a good number of programs in the app, at least in Baltimore City at this point, so that we're not releasing it and someone goes on and there's nothing relevant for them, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if you guys were able to figure out a concentrated area, maybe you are able to start with a small group, like maybe you can connect in with a school or community site that can share with their parents so that again you get a little bit of those kinks worked out with them. I would say if you all are able to open this up and make it available by summer, that's perfect timing for parents looking for things for the school year. And I know as an organization, that's the time when we're trying to share out our information so that kids and parents can sign up for the fall.
That's really good to know. Thank you.
Are you all doing an Android app as well?
Yeah. Right now it is just an iOS app, but we do want to make an Android version as well.
Okay,
Because of
cool.
course a lot of people do have Androids.
Yeah, some of us are green bubble people.
Yeah, I'll say as well, we are still trying to figure out funding for this summer. We
Yeah.
had a grant that uh, a partner organization, a church received that allowed us to fund this app last summer, but at the moment we don't have a funding source set for this summer. So we're still looking for that. Mainly, I think the funding will go into um, supporting the development of the app, but also the outreach, like the social media outreach, the advertising that we do, because that's what's really going to get this in the hands of the parents and students that really need it.
Okay, that's good to know too.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think if I know any grants off the top of my head, but I'll think about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
But if we have no more questions, it was definitely a pleasure presenting my app. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and I look forward to what the future holds for Connect Baltimore. We'll definitely keep trying to build out these connections and do as much as we can for the community and helping parents and students find programs that would be good for their kids.
Well, thank you so much, Brandon, for coming in and for coming in today and showing us your app and just reaching out to us as most to be able to kind of help, have us help you launch this and connect you with some really great feedback. I thank everyone on the call for, their feedback in helping Brandon learn a little bit more about how the OST field works here in Baltimore and everything. I hope we've made some really good connections. We are going to send out this recording to everyone who is registered. So all of you on the call today will also get the recording. I will make sure to put in Brandon's email and Scott's email to continue to make those connections and everything. And Brandon and Scott, I will obviously include you all also on the email so that you have everyone else's contact information to be able to start, if you've got questions back and forth and everything. But thank you all so much for your time today. And I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Happy Friday.